Hi, good morning everybody. It is July 8th, 2026. It is a Wednesday, and we've been at it since Sunday. Sunday was our once a month weekend work, so we are on day 4 of our work week. And I didn't bring the cameras out the other couple days because it was kind of overcast, gray, threatening rain, misty. But also I was kind of not feeling the best, and so this morning I was feeling good and brought the cameras out, and then as I'm driving into work I kind of had a Crohn's episode, and so now I'm kind of not feeling as good as I was when I left the house. But we're going to try to get through the day. We got that new Reading customer we're going to do first, and then we're going to do 2 down to Fogelsville. So once we get rolling, we'll talk to you more. So making our way out to the big road, so to speak. We're going to load out of the Red Barn. A little bit of fog around this morning. The last couple days, like I said, were gray and misty and cool after last week's big heat wave. We cooled down. We were barely 70 degrees. We were overcast, had some misty drizzle, almost like what you'd get in April when it would be in the 40s and low 50s. However, because it's summertime, it was hovering around 70 degrees, but it was a big change from last week's heat wave where we pushed close to 100 degrees for 3 straight days. But you got some fog here and there that's going to be burning off, and then it's going to be a mostly sunny day. So you got to get to the Red Barn. Red Barn been a popular, busy place lately, so I don't know if we're going to have to sit and wait to load or if we're going to be able to get right in there and hooked up and loading right away. We'll find out when we get there, but figured I'd show you quick before this fog burns off, which it almost did. You can still see some of the lingering low clouds, but the fog, it was foggy. This whole road was foggy on my way in this morning, and I had to fly because when you have a Crohn's episode, that usually means bathroom, and that was what I dealt with. So I was kind of moving a little faster than I wanted to so I could make it to our shop and get to the bathroom. But I think we're going to be good the rest of the day. At least I hope we're going to be good the rest of the day. All right. We are here and nobody's here. Perfect. That doesn't mean somebody won't come in right behind me. I may not be able to talk to you here once we get out of the truck, but nobody is here, so we can load right away. All you gotta do is back up there to that wall and get as close as we can without hitting it so that we can get the hose to reach, load her up, and head on down to Reading and deliver this first one. Alright, here we are down the bottom of the lane. I'm gonna make the left on the 309 from here instead of the right, which isn't a whole lot easier because you gotta actually watch both directions of travel. And you can't really see to the left because of the vegetation in the trees. Man, we got 2 trucks coming up this hill now here. Nothing coming from the right. But usually after some trucks, there's usually some cars because they've held them back. Yeah, there was one passing there. Here comes another car. Like I said, this turn is not fun. Hopefully nothing's coming down that. Nah, there's another one coming up. What's going to happen now is enough are going to be coming up that by the time I'm ready to go, something's going to be coming down the hill. Can't see. All right, nothing's coming down the hill, thank goodness. But here comes some trucks and cars up the hill. That is just a very, very difficult turn. Always worry coming out of there that you're going to pull out in front of somebody that you just didn't see coming. So, but anyway, we're out safely, and like I told you, we're heading to Reading. It's not a new customer for us, but it was a new customer for me 2 weeks ago, but I've been doing it fairly steady now, so this is about the 4th time I'm going down there. But we'll talk to you more when we get down there. I've shown you a lot of this stuff over and over again, so we'll show you more of the Reading area when we get down there. All right, now we're off at 222 on the 422. I was going to record a segment giving you the history of the area and the freeway system that became in the 1990s, but when I turned the camera on, I forgot to give it the command to actually record, so that segment never happened. But we are 3/4 of a mile from our exit here, which is that left exit that I showed you the last time, so that's why we are riding this left lane. Otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to get into it when we needed it. This whole 422 section should be a little bit tight. There's no median here whatsoever. Oh, guardrail over this really bumpy bridge, which isn't quite as bumpy in this truck as it was in that red truck, but it's still bumpy enough. Yeah, there's a tight, curvy freeway coming through here. Reading an old city, and they kind of shoehorn this freeway in where they could. So you remember the last time we came down here, light was green, then it went yellow, then it went red, and I thought we were going to have to wait for our next green light, and then the arrow had come on, which kind of threw me. I was sitting there with a green arrow when I should have been going, but now I see the light is actually red. So unless this guy makes a right turn on red, if he can, and then maybe we can, we're just gonna have to wait for the next green cycle. Yeah, it's a strange interchange dropping off to the left in the middle of the freeway, so to speak. I'm not sure the reasoning behind it, because this thing was probably built in the 1950s or the 1960s, but that was the way they designed it, which is unusual, because then when we leave and we get back onto the freeway, we got to get back on right into the hammer lane, which is kind of not fun. Let's see, nothing coming, so we can make the right on red. So that sign says this is US 222. It's really business 222. This used to be 222, but then they realigned it, which was part of the history lesson I was going to give you when I forgot to turn the camera on. How they built the road to nowhere that eventually would become 222 as a bypass around the city of Reading. Because if you wanted to go from Allentown to Lancaster, you had to come straight through the city of Reading, right through the downtown central business district. So they built a bypass around it, which helps a whole lot nowadays. But we're almost here. We'll turn the camera back on there when we set up the back end. All right, so we are almost here. This is where I wasn't sure where I needed to go the last time I filmed this with you guys with me. We now know we need to go up here. It's gonna ding for a little bit because I can't back up with a seatbelt on. I gotta put the four ways on, roll both windows down. I gotta swing it to the right and then bang a U-turn and then push her back across. I got two vehicles behind me that I gotta let go through. Thank God this isn't a busy street. But yeah, this truck turns much better than the other one did, so it's a little easier to do this. Still a little challenging, but now I got a garbage truck coming out. Come on, buddy. All right. I gotta back in through the out gate. But boy, did he mess me up. Boy, did he mess me up. Now I gotta let this traffic go because I can't see. I don't want to hit any of them fancy BMWs there. I wasn't expecting that trash truck to come out of there. Ay, 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 ay. It's easy until somebody messes you up. Oh well, all part of a day's work, I suppose. And now you got about a quarter-mile long back to get up to where we need to unload. All right, so yeah, we got to back all the way in from down yonder way up past all those parked BMWs and stuff, and then we come back here to this garage door, and that is where we unload our water. That is the only way to get in here because, like I said, it's on a car dealer's property, and there is nowhere to turn in and wind around through their parking lots and then set up to back up in here. So the only way to do it is to back in off the street. But there you see the hookup, and we just back up to the garage door, and they hook it up to their pump, and so we're unloading as we speak. So yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. It's easy, but it's a little bit of a challenge. And then with that trash truck coming out, the way we have to back in, kind of threw a monkey wrench in things where I had to pull up a little bit, let him get out, and then he sidestepped me so I could finish coming up in here. So nothing you can do about that, and I don't know how much it ticked him off having to, well, he didn't have to back up at all. I was the one I pulled forward, and then he came out. So I don't think he got ticked off, but probably wasn't expecting me to come backing in that way, and I wasn't kind of expecting him to come out that way. But that's the one risk, is when you start backing into the property, that somebody may be coming out, because that's basically what it is. That is the outside of the guardhouse, and the other side is the inside, which the cars and smaller trucks can use, but we can't. So it is what it is, and you do what you got to do to make your deliveries, but that challenged us a little bit, but here we are. So once we're done here, we'll talk to you on the way back. All right, so we're done, and we're leaving. And well, there aren't too many cars parked along this wall, but sometimes it's parked pretty full, but you see down beyond that stop sign where they have cars parked. But this is the only way to get back there to deliver this load of water. Where this stop sign is, there's no way we could come down that little alleyway and make the turn and then back up. Plus, I can't figure out, I was looking at Google Maps, there's really no way to get up and in there. And see, technically, you would come in to the left. Where we're sitting now, the other side is the inside and this is the outside, but there's no way to come in that side and do a flip here and then push it back. So there's only one way to get back there to deliver this load, and that is to spin the U-turn out on the street and then back in through the out gate, or as Led Zeppelin said, in through the outdoor. That is the only way to do it. So sometimes you get a clean shot at it, and sometimes something messes you up, like that waste management truck that was coming out at the same time I wanted to go in. So nothing you can do about it, just deal with it as it happens. And like I said, I wasn't sure. I thought I gave him enough room that he could make the left turn and go out behind me, but he sidestepped me to the right, to the passenger side, and then let me back in, and then he went out. So either way, I guess works, but I had to pull forward to let him get out, at least, of the gate, and then make room for me to back in there. So, but anyway, we're heading out, heading back, going back to the Red Barn. We're going to get another load, take that down to Fogelsville, and then come back up, get another load, and take that down to Fogelsville. So that's going to be the rest of our day after we get back to the barn. All right, let's see if we can get lucky times 2. We just passed one truck going out as we were coming up the hill here past the houses. So I don't know if anybody else is in here, if we're going to have it all to ourselves. We did good this morning. Guy did pull in not long after I had hooked up and started loading, so I wasn't able to talk to you outside the truck, but we were able to get on and get loading right away. But I don't know if we're going to be so lucky this time around. Anybody in here? No, nobody's in here. All right. That's 2 times in a row. Like I said, somebody may come in again while we're loading, and I won't be able to talk to you outside the truck, but nobody's here. We can back right up, get on there and hooked up and start loading right away. So that timed out pretty good. Like I said, we seen one coming out, but he was done, so now all we gotta do, back up here, try not to hit that big wall, get close enough to hook the hose up, do what we need to do, and if nobody comes, I'll talk to you a little bit outside. Alright, so we're here loading. Nobody came. Last time I was here, I was doing the paperwork inside, and the next driver had come up here and backed on and hooked up, so I wasn't able to talk to you outside, but nobody's gotten here since I came, and so we're loading up. Paperwork's all done and in the truck, so now it's time to just take a little break in the sun while the truck loads, and we'll get done. And like I said, this one's going to go down to Fogelsville, so we'll be going down 309, 100, and all that good stuff. And so far, I heard that the plant's running good down there, so there shouldn't be any delays unless things change between now and our arrival. Sunday and Monday, they were a little slow. We were one at a time most of the day, but then yesterday, after the first load, and it picked up, and we were in and out on our next 2, so hopefully today's going to be the same way, and so far it sounds like it's going to be. So anyway, we'll talk to you on the way down there. We'll talk to you down there if we can, and you know how it goes in the videos, so all right, we'll talk to you later. Alright, so we're done down here. I turned the camera on to show you coming in, but I never, like the first time this morning, I didn't tell it to start recording, so I had them on, but they weren't doing anything. And then, of course, busy. As soon as one would leave, another one would come on, so I didn't have time to talk to you until we got down here. So, and as you can see, one of them just left before me, so there's 2 of us leaving at the same time, and one came in. So like I said, busy. It's kind of hard to talk to you guys outside the truck right now with the amount of trucks that are running. So, but we're done. We're heading back up to get the next one. I don't know where this guy's going. I think he might be going to Tamaqua. As you know, we're going to Red Barn. I think he's going to Tamaqua. Alright, so we're between New Tripoli and Lehigh County side of the Blue Mountain here, going back up to get that 3rd one. Got a real pretty sky going on today. That's why I turned the camera on, and it's kind of why I'm keeping on going with filming today, because I've been having a few gaffes, so to speak, personal gaffes with turning the cameras on but not telling them to record, and then I go through a 3 to 5 minute segment of nothing, doing dialogue and talking to you guys, but it ain't recording, so kind of turning into a frustrating day. And as it is, I don't oftentimes know what to say to you guys because of the repetitive nature of the routes, and add into that the fact that I'm not feeling good a lot of the times, which is why I don't bring the cameras out as much as I do, and I'm really starting to struggle making these things. I'm trying to do at least once a week for you. I would love to do 2 or 3 a week, but it's the same stuff over and over again. And I know I've been given suggestions on things I could talk about, but I'm kind of geared more for talking about what I see as I do it, and what I'm experiencing as I'm doing it, as opposed to going back into my history of becoming a truck driver, or why I did this or why I did that. It's kind of not where the video direction was ever meant to go. It was more to be a here and now type of a video of my daily events. But when you do the same thing over and over again, it's hard to get creative with them. And now that we're super busy too, I'm limited to where and when I can push that record button. I can't do it sometimes down at the plant. Sometimes I can't do it at the well because there's other drivers there. So I'm trying my best, but it is getting harder and harder to make these videos, just like I said, because of the repetitive nature of the routes, as well as not feeling good a lot of the time. And now Mr. Taxi Cab here, who had been going slow most of the time, is now going to pick it up because I came out here to pass him. See, this is how it works. When there isn't a passing lane, they don't want to go, and then when there is a passing lane, then they don't want to be passed. So traffic frustrations too a little bit today. But I'm trying to do the best I can. But we're, as we speak, climbing up the Blue Mountain on the Lehigh County side, which I don't show you all that much. So it's something just a little bit different. But hopefully, when I put these up on the computer and review them and edit them, hopefully I can come up with something that's halfway decent for you guys. But today started out good. I mean, if I wasn't feeling good this morning, I wouldn't have brought the cameras out. But I brought them out because I felt good when I was at the house, and then things kind of went sideways on my drive into work, and started getting a stomach ache halfway to work, and ended up having to push the envelope a little bit to get to the shop so I could use the restroom, and just kind of never really got better after that. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we're here loading, and for all the things that kind of went sideways and got twisted up and messed up and whatnot today, the one thing that's been good is that we've been able to get on here and load right away. We haven't had to wait on a driver all day, so that's pretty good. Sometimes you come up here and all 3 or 4 loads that you're scheduled for, you're waiting on a truck, but we didn't have to wait today. We had to place all to ourselves, all 3 loads. So that's the one positive. The other positive is it's 85 degrees out, no humidity, just a beautiful day. So just take it as it is, and we'll try to make this last load a good load, and hopefully there's no more heavy traffic and goofiness to go around. So try to show you going into the plant. Like I said, I tried to do that on the last one and forgot to tell the camera to start recording, so it was for naught. But we'll try it again on the 3rd one. So we're loading her up, and we're gonna go in there and talk to the well owner once we're done talking to you guys. All right, well, we're coming up on our turn here, but I'm not sure we're gonna make this. I am not sure we're gonna make this. It's been green for a while. Let's see, we got somewhat of a pack of cars coming up here. Nope, we didn't make it. I guess I'll have to continue the recording on the other side of the red light. All right, that wasn't that long of a light this time for some reason. And we are good to go. And it looks like the plant is still moving along real well, because everybody I've seen on the way up, I'm seeing coming out on the way down. So that means we are moving along. We are able to back on the pad and unload right away. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know how many are actually here, but if we're gonna have to wait to get on the pad, Well, once you get on the pad, you can unload right away. There is no one at a time unloading like we sometimes have down here. So let's see what we got. Jeez, it looks like there's nobody on the pad. And no, there is not. Nobody is here at the moment. I caught an empty wave. It must be here at low tide. Interesting. Interesting. Put the 4-ways on. Interesting. So I flip around here. I wasn't sure what that jockey truck was going to do, but he's got to close his doors. So, like I said, I don't like to do the U-turn right in front of the pad. This is a little bit softer and gentler of a turn on those trailer tandems, so I'd rather do it that way than to try and spin right up here, because that puts a heck of a twist on the tires and the wheels and the axles and the whole assembly, really. Some guys do it. I have done it when it's jammed packed down there and you have no choice, but I prefer not to do it. So, yeah, I can't believe that there is actually no trucks here at the moment. So this is good. I'll be in and out of here in about 25 minutes. Alright, so in a matter of 5 minutes, we went from nobody here to a full house. 3 trucks came in behind me, and we're all unloading, so silos are still at a good level, allow everybody to unload. But this is my last one. I'll be done for the day and be heading back up. But yeah, I got here, nobody was here, the pad was empty, and by the time I hooked up, another one came in, and until I went in and did the computer, another one came in, and now the last one came in, so all 4 are full. So, alright, we'll talk to you on the way back up. Alright, so we're finishing up the last about quarter to half a mile here at 100, where it ends here at 309. And to make the left here on 309, but we just got the red light. Now let's hope nobody's making a left turn there that would have tripped 309's left turn arrow, and it appears that nobody was, which means this will be a shorter red light. If somebody's over there to our right in that left turn lane, this becomes a much longer light because of their arrow. So it shouldn't take too long and we'll get going again under normal conditions. Oh, there it goes. It just turned yellow, so we're gonna go here in a second. There we go. So we're done rolling northbound. We're out all the hustle and bustle of Fogelsville Industrial Parks and all that traffic down there. 3:07 p.m. so we got up here and out of there before the 3 o'clock rush hour began. Traffic was picking up. It was a little bit heavy, but not bad. Looks like I gotta wash the windshield tonight when I get back. Picked up a few bugs today. Last few weeks I really haven't had too many bug splats, but today, I don't know, the bugs seem to be a little more active. Maybe it was just too hot and humid, and they were settled down during the hottest part of the day, which is when we run. Today is not quite so hot. It's only 84 degrees here on the truck, and there's no humidity whatsoever. There's no haze. It's crystal clear blue skies. It's just an outstanding summer day today. Last week, the heat and humidity was really brutal. I told you guys we were going to go into the furnace, and we did. Never cracked 100 up there where I live. It only got up to 98, but Atlantic City, I think, hit 105. Reading, Philly hit 103. Allentown hit 101. So it went plenty hot, but today's a beautiful day. Just an absolutely gorgeous summer day. In spite of some of the trials and tribulations we've had we gotta do now is fuel this thing up for her